Let's cut the bullshit. We've got straight up marketing advice. You should use it.
Just drop the job.
Adam and Simon's Bullshit Busters.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Adam and Simon Bullshit Busters. I'm Simon Batchelor.
I'm Adam Bastock.
And this week we are going to be talking about... Adam, what are we talking about?
2 seconds. I've got the notes. Here you go.
Nice one, thanks. Well, I guess you might as well stay.
Might as well, as I'm here.
So, today we are going to be talking about what we've learnt from making 50 episodes of the podcast. So, Adam, do you want to start us off with what your sort of main thoughts been on what it's been like to make 50 episodes?
I think the main thing for me is it's been really useful as a resource just to point people towards when I've been asked questions. So quite often talking with new businesses or small businesses who are new to digital marketing in a very broad way, having just a bank of, I think, 10 to 20 minute episodes where they can go through and dive in and out, understand the process that kind of we go through and our approach to the marketing, but also just give advice without me having to repeat myself all the time, but also without me having to do YouTube videos and produce them in a more professional way. Just doing a podcast is a bit easier for people to digest it while they're doing the cleaning or going on a dog walk or whatever like that. Whereas I think probably about 2 years ago now, I was starting to do YouTube videos in a similar aim, but it was just much more hassle to set up. So yeah. I think the podcast format is just much better for that.
I think also because there's a back and forth, it's more of a conversation of the podcast format, which I think really helps with people being able to listen to it and it being easier to understand and comprehend. And it just makes it a bit more enjoyable rather than sort of a 15-minute deep dive into Google Analytics. Like we split it up into 5 and we talked about it and explained it, and people seem to resonate with that a lot more, where previous videos we've done with Google Analytics, it's like no one wants to watch a video about analytics, but actually a podcast where 2 people are talking about why it's good for your business is a totally different proposition. So I think that's definitely a really key point is, if you start making your own podcast, you can answer those common questions, and not only are you answering the common questions and engaging your customer, but you're building this bank of videos that you can send customers to, but also customers can navigate to and explore in their own time.
Exactly.
So if someone wants to get to know you and how you talk about SEO and how you talk about marketing and how you talk about sort of small business things and things like that, they might listen to one episode, and the feedback we've had is quite a few people have said, oh yeah, I listened to one episode and then I went back to the beginning and just listened to them all. Right. And it's just those people who are just like, yeah, I really like the way you explained that, and I've learned lots of things that I would never have necessarily clicked on a video and watched a video about that, but because of the way you two explain it, I've learned quite a lot about topics I didn't even know I was interested in or should be interested in.
It helps you explore the topic in more detail, I think, as well, rather than having one person talking to camera about stuff, having someone else there just to explore the questions and bounce ideas off of. Mid-conversation is much more beneficial for people understanding it as well. Yeah,
and I think also it's been useful to do it consistently. So aiming to put out one a week has been really interesting because it kind of keeps us doing it. And also, I think it kind of keeps the energy behind it. Whereas if we were just sort of, we'll do them when we can fit them in, we would have made probably 5 episodes.
Yeah, because you just suck it off.
Because we'd be like, let's do it next week. Let's do it next week. And actually making sure we do them, even if we do 2 episodes week to week, bit of a behind the scenes secret there, but even if we do 2 episodes or 3 episodes in one session, that actually, it still works. It's just, we just get through 3 or just 2 or 3 in one.
Look out for the lack of wardrobe changes.
Yes, that's the secret.
So we've not yet done that consistency yet.
But I think the consistency certainly helps with the momentum. Like if you're struggling to keep doing a podcast, then even if you just say to yourself, well, I'm going to put one out every Monday morning or every Tuesday afternoon is my podcast launch day, that can really help you keep motivated, I think. I think purely just from listening and watching the sort of analytics side of it, the more sort of data side of it, we've certainly found that when we've done a podcast with a title that is answering a specific question, it's certainly got a lot more views on its own.
Yeah.
And also when we cut down the length from about 20 to 25 minutes down to around 10, we certainly got more views because it certainly felt like less of a commitment.
And I think it's also good. It makes it easier for us to do the podcast and to describe the topic in a more concise way as well, and really get to the point of the issue. Where I think if you're doing 20, 30 minute ones, depending on the topic, of course, you do ramble and go into bits of information that the listener probably doesn't actually care about or want. So cutting it down to 10 minutes, I think, has helped me go, what is the least amount of information that I can give here that is the most important, rather than here's all the information that I have that 50% of they probably don't actually care about.
Yeah, because I think in a conversation with a client or with someone else you're just talking to, you can naturally gauge whether you're going to go down this rabbit hole, whether you're going to go on this little diversion of a topic. And actually, as soon as that's removed, it's really easy just to ramble for 25 minutes. Yeah, so actually, if you make sure you're aiming for 10 minutes, I mean, the little secret, we've got a timer running here just to try and keep us on track. And it's a little simple things like that just make it really easy to do. Because you just keep glancing at it every now and then. You're like, right, okay, we need to get on to the next point now because we've got to keep it moving, and that keeps the momentum moving in the podcasts. And I think the other thing is we initially sort of started with the aim of it just being out there and we'd see what happened. And I think there's this sort of idea or mantra of that sort of done beats perfect. Yeah. And that certainly, I think, has been a real bonus for us because we were just like, well, let's just get it out there and see who listens, see if anybody listens to this. And that certainly helped. That
links back to the first point of once we've got that momentum going and we're doing it, we're just throwing stuff out there. It was then when I realised, there's actually loads of information here I can point clients towards, rather than me trying to do that perfect, YouTube video that's really polished, which I would never do that many of. I think just getting started and doing it, and starting with a couple of minutes of a question of what should we talk about this week? Oh, well, we've done this, and then just getting out there and doing it has been really helpful in the momentum, but also just the relevant content, I think, or relevant questions that we're answering, because we tend to, or at least I tend to, bring up topics that I've been asked by my clients or by people and things that have just appeared. So it's been really helpful to focus the content creation strategy, or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely,
and I think
and that is ultimately it. We don't really have a long-term strategy for it. We just enjoy making it, and that's why we've made 50 of them, because it's good fun to catch up once a week and talk about stuff we enjoy talking about.
Well, I think that's it. Because we'd normally be talking about this stuff in a pub anyway. So it's just, if you put a microphone there and record it, maybe it's more useful for someone. Yeah. So
and it turns out it has been.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we have people have come to us and been like, "This has been great." So it's been nice to do and just get that feedback, I think, and have a bit of a resource there that will actually help people, even if it is in a very small way. We're not aiming to become big hit YouTubers or anything like that.
No. I think that, and that also I think is probably partly why it works. Yeah. Because there isn't a sales pitch, there isn't an agenda to it. It's just we just like doing it. Yeah. And I think that's probably a really good way for someone who's thinking about doing it to get going, to just be like, right, I'm going to record it. And even if you don't have two of you, you can start off by just going onto Zoom, which is what we do, start a Zoom meeting and record it on your computer, and you get a video and an audio file all linked together, and you can just upload it to YouTube. That's as simple as that. So you just click record, off you go, and you click stop at the end, upload it to YouTube. And you can also get the audio file from that and upload it to something like Anchor FM. We'll put the links in the description, obviously, and that's super easy. Then it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts. It goes into all these platforms, so you can be on YouTube and all major podcast platforms in 2 uploads.
It's very simple.
It's really quick.
I think people do often think that podcasts are really difficult to try and produce and do, but the key is just have a good microphone and sign up to one of the services that will then populate everything for you, and it's actually surprisingly straightforward and easy. Yeah,
I mean, the only reason we do, the jingle on the beginning and the end, and I do a little bit of editing here and there, is because I know how to do it, but we don't necessarily need to do it. For example, this episode, we are just stood in front of my computer here now recording it on Zoom. Yeah. So this is a very basic setup, and you could do the same. So if you are thinking of making your own podcast, do pop a link in the comments or send us a link to it. We'd definitely like to hear and see what you are creating. So, yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching to the 50 episodes we've made so far. And yeah, we hope you'll give us a subscribe and a follow and join us for the next 50 and beyond. So from the Real Life Bullshit Busters, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.